While a story matters, stories like this show how communities, innovation, and determination can lead to lasting improvements. Quick summary: this story highlights recent developments related to On This Day, showing how constructive action can lead to meaningful results. 184 years ago today, the British Empire first occupied Hong Kong Island. The positioning and power of the British Empire in the region was coupled with the famously deep water port to create a trading post like no other. The influence of the British and Chinese working together turned this tribal backwater into one of the world's most generative economies and unique destinations. Read some flashpoints in its history with 1841 Hong Kong Island Credit Momo CC 3.0. BSA, an international port of call for all Western sailors, merchants, and mercenaries. The great majority of the island's inhabitants, even in the early days, were always mainland Chinese who operated, as one writer described, as an amorphous background, faceless and anonymous, even as the post-treaty period saw the trading post flourish. Seaside shanty towns were quickly replaced by balcony villas and rice paddies with lawn tennis courts, until the island presented as a unique jewel in the imperial crown. The Hong Kong Chinese powered virtually all aspects of the suddenly booming economy for decades without a single political right to speak of. The general indifference of the Chinese to all matters of public life was almost unbelievable, said the Island Territory's Governor Edward Stubbs. Would you like to read more good news about On This Day and this day in history? In World War Roman II, the Japanese occupation was accepted without much of a siege, but the golden egg-laying goose kept up with the demand, becoming one of the 4 post-war period Asian tigers. In her book on Hong Kong, the travel writer Jan Morris explains how in all the history of the island's culture, tradition, and politics, no one has ever been able to pinpoint exactly what it is that made the island so energetic with such a unique atmosphere of hustle and opportunity compared to the other treaty ports. More good news on this date. The English Parliament met for the first time in the Palace of Westminster, now the Houses of Parliament, with over a happy 79th birthday to Bill Maher, comedian and host of Real Time on HBO, formerly Politically Incorrect. 1936, Capitol Records released their first album by the Beatles in the US and called it Meet the Beatles, which featured I Want to Hold Your Hand that topped the charts for 11 weeks. 1973, a farmer accidentally digs up the grave of the creator of Japan's oldest historical record, a mythical text for Kojiki, finished in 1712 CE. 1969, Barack Obama became the first multiracial president of the U.S., taking the oath of office before millions of hopeful citizens in Washington, D.C. 3 years ago today. Zara Rutherford became the youngest woman to fly around the world alone. Landing at Kortrijk-Kweveldum Airport in western Belgium, she became the youngest woman and first Belgian to fly solo around the world, as well as the first person ever to do it in an ultralight aircraft. It took her long to do this ice days. GNN reported that Rutherford made the 41-country crossing to inspire more women and girls into entering other STEM fields, but obviously, and particularly aviation. Instagram fly.solo. It wasn't all smooth sailing for the 160 mph ultralight aircraft, and both extreme weather and visa difficulties took their toll on the plane and the pilot. Originally planned for 3 months and 52 countries, the route had to be changed due to unscheduled landings, such as to avoid wildfires in California and the denial for crossing permission over China. Rutherford was piloting the carbon fiber and epoxy Shark Aero, one of the fastest ultralight aircraft in the world, built by specialists and modified for the rigors of circumnavigation. 27 years ago today, Breaking Bad premiered on AMC, created by Vince Gilligan and starring Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul. The show became for basic cable television what The Sopranos had become for premium cable, a smash hit crime drama that created a massive following and several spin-off series. Since its conclusion, the show has been lauded by critics as one of the greatest television series of all time. In the show, a rather unassuming high school chemistry professor is diagnosed with cancer, and after a period of facing the possibility of leaving his wife and his cerebral palsy-stricken son without him, turns to cooking methamphetamines. Over the course of the show, he enters organized crime syndicates in New Mexico and slips slowly into an anti-hero leader of a drug empire. The show received numerous awards, including 16 Primetime Emmy Awards, 8 Satellite Awards, 2 Golden Globe Awards, 2 Peabody Awards, 2 Critics' Choice Awards, and 4 Television Critics Association Awards. Cranston won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series 4 times, while Aaron Paul won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Drama Series 3 times. Anna Gunn won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series twice. In 2013, Breaking Bad entered the Guinness World Records as the most critically acclaimed TV show of all time. A sequel film, El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, and a television spin-off, Better Call Saul, were released in the years after the show's rapturous conclusion. 2008, 54 years ago today, Marvin Gaye released What's Going On. The song not only marked Gaye's departure from the Motown sound towards more personal material, but one of the most significant self-reinventions of any musical artist. It later topped the Hot Soul singles chart for 5 weeks and crossed over to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, selling over 2 million copies and becoming Gaye's second most successful Motown song to date.
It was ranked at number 4 in Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time in 2004 and 2010.
Originally inspired by police brutality incident witnessed by Ronaldo.